Hello, Dima,
Hello, Eric.
and hello everyone at home who's watching and listening to our interview with Dima Barbarchuk for Community Matters, the Holochain publication, where we're featuring you, our community, who matters because you're what makes Holochain real in the world. There's people using it. Dima, you're coming and joining us today from Spain. Uh, and you're usually in Ukraine where you're building community there and your project. Do you want to share with us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. First of all, hello to all. And well, actually, I was born in Kiev and grown up in Kiev. I've graduated 3 degrees from higher education. First was finance and financial management services. The second one is public administration, and the third one is law. And from days, I've launched and developed a lot of businesses in field of tourism, real estate, pharmaceutical business, and hazardous waste management services. Then I devoted several years of my life to public service, and then returned back to entrepreneurship. So the last thing we are working on is Cheaper. Cheaper is a human-centric international P2P fashion shopping economy. We are developing Cheaper economy to create jobs of future in the fashion industry, to enable anyone to make for their content, which is awesome shopping deals that people discover at every moment, and work without any limitations of age, location, or particular skill, while helping customers to discover best bargains and save money on cross-border shopping. So that's what we are working on right now, and are really inspired of being the part of Holochain movement, because we consider it's the best way to unleash the potential of the economy we are working on.
Awesome. Awesome. What functions of Holochain are you particularly excited about?
Well, as it was said, human-centric approach, for my deep belief, is the key feature, because we believe that users should own their own personal data, because we see lots of examples of users' interest corruption of centralized services. So we believe that this kind of value can be an engine for growth of such economies. And that is why we are focusing on putting all the power to our users in our economy, because we believe it's the driver of further growth. And besides, we also believe that our currency design might also be the driver of user activities, since we can create incentives to encourage good behavior, and in some cases we can also use it to avoid bad behavior as well.
Cool. And so it's clear that you're excited about Holochain, and you've got a project that can use it for really specific needs. But there's another thing that you do, which is a level much further than that, which is you organize community and you share about Holochain. a lot. So and like as a community leader, so why did you choose to get involved in the community with this project?
I was initially inspired with Holochain team, and the mindset behind is that you are using the patterns of nature, which are interrelatedness, diversity, and creativity. So here I would like also to mention that since I visited Amsterdam Hackathon, I've been talking a lot with you, Eric, with Matt, with Arthur, and you told me about Paul Kraffel, which also inspired me a lot. And I think that this kind of intelligent design is deeply reflected in Holochain team mindset in your technology architecture.
Mm. So for you, there's something that you connect with in what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it, that is what you're already doing in the world, and the expanding the community is a way for you to expand what you care about in the world.
Exactly. What you're doing is really deeply reflects my persuasion. And I think it's the best efficient way to build resilient systems to avoid black swans.
Cool. So then what's been easy in your experience of contributing to the Holochain community, and what's been hard in your experience? And really, like, don't be polite.
Well, I believe it's obvious that when you're building something new from scratch, there is always an innovation gap. So I can't say that all the things are going around are unexpected to me. So I'm building my own startup. I've built it before lots of businesses. So I know for sure that it's normal. And for me particularly, it was hard to get into the deeper understanding of a technology, as I'm not a tech guy. But when you wish and dare to go deeper, you will always find resources, time, and attention to get to the core. So I can't say it was too complicated for me, not at all.
Cool. And then what feels different in your experience with this community? You've mentioned a little bit that we do things differently from other things. So what's like, what are some examples that you have that's different about this?
Your approach. You are so open. You are so collaborative. I can't remember any case when I had a question and didn't get a reply from the team on that issue. So you guys are doing great work here. Of course, there are problems of growth, but you internally are totally ready to develop your ecosystem. And I would like to be, and our team as well, to be a part of this movement.
Cool. So then what accomplishments, highlights, or goals would you like to share regarding growing expanding the community?
Well, I think that I'm good at putting together people and resources to get the goals. So what I'm doing here in Ukraine, I'm I've launched with your kind assistance and participation the first in Ukraine Holochain meetup, which was called Login to Distributed Era Holochain. And my expectations were to discover the synergy while developing distributed products and P2P economies of future powered by Holochain technology with highly skilled and cost-efficient tech and startup minds of Ukraine. And I also noticed that was a great interest. Of course, there are some problems because we're still at the stage here in Ukraine that we feel great lack of Rust developers. But by spreading the word, we raise the interest of developers around, and many of them are considering possible scenarios to become Rust developers because they can see clearly the window of opportunities. Mm. So I believe we will follow this practice and we will continue to organize meetups and building the bridge between Holochain technology itself and tech people and startup teams, because I think the Holochain as a framework for building dApps is a great chance for all startups that are building P2P economies and collaborative economies, because they can empower their users to control their own personal data and to monetize it when they wish.
Great. Okay. So then, what do you think is some of the most important things? Like, what do we need for the success of Holochain, from your perspective, like right now in time?
Well, I think that the adoption will come through the utilizing of Holochain technology. So first of all, we, as a team of Holochain and all the supporters around the world, have to focus on delivering the technology first and involve as much people as possible in the process of talks and discussions of all people who have the same mindset, who are sick and tired of corrupted centralized systems. So I think that the time is also matters. We need to do it as soon as possible because lots of people around are watching on Holochain progress, and probably many of them wouldn't like Holochain to succeed. So we need to put all our efforts to do the opposite, not to make them happy.
Yeah, I'm okay with making them unhappy. And then I suppose, like, lastly, what advice would you give to someone who's coming to the Holochain community? Let's say someone's watching this video and it's their first exposure to the Holochain community. What would you like to tell them?
Guys, don't afraid of asking questions. There are people around who are happy to help you, to support all your inquiries, to answer all your questions. I know that from my own personal experience. And don't be afraid to dare. Ask questions, start and launch new products, startups. There are people around who are happy and are ready to help you. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm with the kind assistance of Eric, also working on cheaper validated learning use case, which is about to share our startup experience while we develop our product. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions, how to build products, how to build it efficiently, how to raise the survival rate of such startups. But the core element here is to build the product the customer loves. So don't be afraid to start, make the first step forward to your dreams.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dima.
Welcome, Eric.